Hello, gentlemen. How's it going?
Hi, how's it going?
Great. How are you?
The
I'm great.
Beatles.
Congrats on this latest movie of yours. I thought it was wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. And JT, I mean, it's such a, like Stephen King said, a unique masterpiece, which I agree with. It's a very, I think,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Seriously,
It's still hard to process the Stephen King thing. So
but
it's really
it's
cool.
super unique, and I had no idea where it was going, which is a total compliment. But it's also, I was curious when you were, behind the camera putting this together, were you revisiting any certain like throwback scary movie classics or filmmakers and sort of crafting your vision?
After the initial idea for the film came to me and the narrative came in a certain way, I saw opportunities to exploit certain tropes
Yeah.
and then subvert the expectations associated with those tropes, and which is why there was always an opening crawl written into the movie, but later on we decided to bring Jason Patrick in to do a narration reminiscent
Yeah.
of John Larroquette from Toby Hooper's film, and so it became a lot of fun leaning into, especially in the opening act that we show, the third chapter, just
Yeah.
leaning into those tropes like Duel and
Oh, yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre and those familiar and Halloween and showing the archetypes and the familiar things in horror films, and then spending the rest of the movie sort of peeling the layers away, and that was exciting to me.
Yeah, yeah, it was great. Yeah, job well done. And Giovanni, I was reading how JT was saying how you were able to, make this feel like $100 million movie. So job well done. I
Oh,
was
thank you.
curious.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's good at what he does.
Yeah, I'd say so. Could you talk about how you were able to, learn that and pull that off for this
Well,
movie?
yeah, I mean, I grew up as a child actor and really next to a camera and the camera crew, and always had this fascination, and really started taking it seriously about 15 years ago, where I was doing cinematography professionally, but in the background. And then when JT sent this to me, I think within 15 minutes, I called him up and I was begging to be a part of it, and then shooting it was an evolution of that. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's gorgeous how it was shot, and yeah,
Oh,
really
thank you.
adds to it, of course.
Thank you.
Um, and Giovanni, when in these recent projects of yours, Horizon and Avatar and stuff, had you been studying the cinematographers on those? J. Michael Murrow and Russell Carpenter. Were you studying them while you were working on
They've
these?
been studying him.
Oh,
What are you talking about?
stop it.
I'm joking.
No, no, I always, I think I was, most cinematographers that I had worked with as an actor, I would always become a nuisance at some point in the middle of the film. And asking the questions and finding and learning. And Andrew Lesney, who's no longer with us, but he was Peter Jackson's cinematographer, and he shot the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Was a huge influence. Dante Spinotti, Reed Morano, and yeah, and there really I'll say that, but there's really nothing like just picking up a camera and shooting all the time and carrying it around with you. This is, I think, the biggest thing. Leading up to working with JT, I think that was just my mantra, that I just felt like it was something that I had to do. Really, it was hard to explain.
Of course. Yeah. And I can't wait for everyone else to see this. It's
Oh,
it's
great.
gonna
Thank you.
Thank
it's
you.
already a buzz, and it's gonna continue making waves. It's great.
I hope so. Thank you
Yeah.
so
And
much.
JT, if you don't mind, I'm also, I'm a huge Stephen King fan. I've already mentioned him twice now. And I know you're, involved writing The Long Walk. And
Stephen, who? What? Who?
am I saying that right? No.
No, I love Stephen King,
Stefan
obviously.
King.
Yeah, Stefan King.
Yeah. Is there anything, I mean, The Long Walk, based on that short story, and, you have some wonderful actors involved, Judy Greer and Mark Hamill. I was curious if you could share about how they, fit
Both
into this.
wonderful, wonderful people. I'm going to
Yeah.
give you some really in-depth scoop on The Long Walk. So there's some weird stuff happening on that. No, I'm kidding. The Long Walk was a pleasure to write.
Yeah.
I'm a massive Stephen King fan, so it was a dream job, and an equally massive fan of Francis Lawrence. So to write,
Oh, yeah.
to adapt a book like that, and be able to adapt it for a director like that, and to be able to be on set and watch that director work, a guy with that kind of body of work, I've been pinching myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I spoke to Francis earlier this year for, Hunger Games. And yeah, so I can't wait to see that.
He's a really amazing guy. And he said this was a instant classic, I think, is what he said about our film.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. It's in the new trailer.
Hey,
Yeah.
right. Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, no, he's the best.
Well, that's great. Yeah. I can't wait to see that. And Giovanni, there are a lot of people excited to see your face appear in that epic, final trailer kind of thing at the end of Horizon Part One. Is there anything you can kind of tease about your role in Part Two? Because I thought the first one was great. I can't wait to see. I was bummed that they delayed the release because I really want to see Part Two. So.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you. Yeah, that's something. I'm just such a fan of Kevin Costner and the road that he's traveled in order to get to where he is now, making these movies. I think he spent 37 years writing them with the other writer. There's 4 movies. It's a similar thing. For Part Two, I'm only in just a brief moment, but my character comes back for 3 and 4, which I think we're doing in next year sometime. So
Right. And then there's Avatar too. I mean, the list goes on. People see that there's a lot of news coming out about the next Avatar movie and your involvement in that. So, I mean,
yeah. It's crazy. We were just working on the 3rd one a couple months ago, and we looked around and we're like, oh my gosh, we've been making these movies for the last 18 years or something like that. And to see people's lives evolve and have families and all that, really sort of incredible. And just grateful that could be in all of our lives,
Yeah, of course. And lastly, before I go, I mean, no spoilers, of course. Was there a particular scene, Giovanni and JT, that you enjoyed shooting the most? Whether it was like a camera, there were some cool camera moves in this, in Strange Darling. Was there one you're particularly proud of? Whether it was like a particular effect or
enjoying them and being proud of them are
two different
inversely
things.
proportionate. I enjoyed the day in the forest the most.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was just a great day.
Yeah,
It was great. The day in the forest, and the shots are beautiful, and it looks like the fairy tale we were talking about, and it captured such beautiful images. And we were in the forest. It was just a really good day. It was the weather was perfect. Everything was going the way it was supposed to go, which never happened on the movie. But then there were some shots with a high level of difficulty that after they were over, I felt a great sense of achievement. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, so that was sort of towards the end, and I think a lot of the wrinkles had been ironed out. We had somebody new come on, a producer who was just incredible, a guy named Dan Lawler.
Yeah, Dan was great.
And he just kind of
Lauren Hood.
Yeah, Lauren. And so there was that. There's so many for me. I think every day was challenging, and that really is putting it mildly. I speak for both of us. But at the end of it, I would come to work next day and I couldn't wait to get to set. And it was this strange thing. I think of the scene in the truck when they're both talking to each other, which is chapter 1.
French overs.
Yeah, but it was also just this. We decided we had this very strong direction that we wanted to go, that we took a chance, and it seems to have worked with the colors in the movie. And I think the acting in it is it's one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just it's a really beautiful scene. The look and the performances, and yeah, I
Yeah.
really like
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
you
The
fall
colors
in
are
love with the
great.
characters, really, you really do.
Yeah.
They did such
Yeah,
a
it's
good
great.
job.
it.
Yeah.
You
Well
get
done.
emphysema if you stick around long enough. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just like
exactly.
there's a lot of smoking
Yeah.
inside of a car, which when I watch it now, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
But I think it's I think that contributes to the beauty as well. It's just it's just a beautifully shot scene,
Oh, thanks,
and the
man.
lighting is great in that scene. And you're right, those performances there are so subtle but so natural.
Yeah.
and there's a
Yeah.
real connection happening with those two characters in that scene.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Well, great. Well, thank you, gentlemen. That's all the time I have, but
Okay.
wonderful
Thanks
to
for your
meet
time.
you, and congratulations again.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.